How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins for this next week, and we've got some burlap continuation for you with the Arctic set. So we did get the initial pieces, so maybe we'll see the head wrap and booties make it in. I also love how these are called burlap shoes. Like, they're booties at most. I mean, they're just wraps. Next, we've got some more burlap for you, and these are some burlap pajamas. So they've got all sorts of the sun and the moon and stars and everything going on around on it. And it's just simple, but it's a nice little set. And you know what? We don't really have any pajamas in Rust, right? Next, we've got some more hide stuff for you, and it's the pizza set. And I mean, you can make your whole self look like a pizza eventually if this all gets in here, and it just fits that goofy side of Rust. I mean, I could definitely see this making its way into the game. Next, we've got something, if you're into leopard print, we've got the leopard poncho. And yeah, it's complete with some leopard teeth around your necklace there. And yeah, just very furry and leopardy. Next up, we've got a hoodie and pants set for you. It is the hoodie and pants clown. Just simply called clown. And yeah, you've got kind of this ringleader slash clown kind of get up kind of going on here. Definitely an interesting little set. Next, we've got a fun road sign set for you. It is the flame set, and the whole thing is made to look like the flame turret, complete with goofy face and everything. You got the little get some and everything, and yeah, I love when people take something out of the game and implement it into their skins, and this is definitely a very fun one. Next, we've got a couple of high-quality sets. The first one here is the Night set by Jessen, and yeah, as you can see here, it's just got kind of a little bit of plate mail kind of going on. Then you've got this kind of Roman cut to the top of it here. Some nice designs on the back. Definitely some beautiful adornment. Next, we've got a pretty badass looking set. This is the Predator set by Algorithm, and yeah, it just has this really neat kind of creature zombie tech vibe kind of thing going on to it, and I don't know if this is too much for Hulk for the sci-fi kind of look to it, but it's definitely a very cool set. I could see a lot of people wanting to pick this up if it made it. Speaking of sci-fi, we've got some more for you with the Xenoskeleton set. And yeah, Xenomorph, I don't know, I mean, it's just Xeno, which just, I guess that could be used, but one way or another, this thing is really cool looking. And yeah, oh man, this is very, very cool, especially like kind of like the brain dome kind of thing, and it is this really neat kind of reminiscent of Aliens. So I don't know if that's the name would have to change or not, but it's definitely a very cool set. Next, we've got continuation in the Cybercode set with its first set of armor or clothing with the high qual. Jumping straight in there. You got lots of kind of tactical strapping and so forth, even some wires kind of coming through there. And the face mask has kind of like a digital skull thing going on. Definitely very nice, has a very good kind of tactical look to it that fits with the Cybercode set very well. Next, we've got a continuation from the Cosplay King, the Frog Cosplay by Milo Frito, who's made pretty much all the other cosplay sets that are in the game. And yeah, we've got the frog here. So it's a very happy looking little frog. He even has like a lily flower there. And yeah, the whole thing is just kind of goofy, but everyone really loves these cosplay sets, so I could definitely see this popping into the shop. Then, speaking of goofy and cosplay, we've got the Blue Ape for you, and yeah, it has that kind of cel-shaded cartoon kind of drawn look to it, as well as the fact there's some NFTs out there, the Bored Ape Yacht Club or something, a Bored Ape Club or something like that, and I feel like this takes a lot of inspiration from that kind of look. But they also kind of did their own thing with the fur and so forth. But it seems to be something that's quite trending, so I could see kind of where the idea is coming from. It also has nips, and there's actually an alternate version that has the nipples covered up with tape. So there you go. I always have the alternate versions of different skins down in the workshop link in the description. So there it is. Alright, next up we've got our deployables, and the first one up here is a rocky little sleeping bag. This is the Stone Sleeping Bag by Firefly. And as you can see, it pretty much blends right into stone. So if you want to kind of hide it in the rocks or something like this, it would be perfect. And the nice thing is these little gaps here look almost exactly like the grass in Rust. Love the attention to detail for that. Next, we've got some furnaces for you, and the first one here may look kind of plain, And, well, it's a dumpling. So there you go. Now you kind of know why it's just kind of an off-white kind of thing with a similar shape that might not have quite fit your mind yet. But yeah, it took me a second. If it wasn't for the fact of the name, it's literally a dumpling furnace. So there you go. Next over here, we got something a little more on the icy side. And as you can see here, this furnace is just the, well, ice furnace, but it really kind of has like kind of a more pixely feel to it. I definitely kind of like that more rigid look to it. Then over here we've got something from the sea and the deep. It is the Kraken furnace. And yeah, you've got this really cool squid kind of over the top of this shimmery, glossy rock. And it kind of has a bit of a Cthulhu vibe going with it as well, which is quite cool for sure. Then over here we got one more furnace for you. This is the Crypt furnace. And as you can see, the whole thing just kind of looks like a conglomeration of bones and twisted pieces of bones. So there you go with that one. Looks like they kind of melted some Terminators or something. Then over here we've got some money. It's the money box, and it actually glows, which is pretty cool. And if you check out the money itself, it actually has like a little rust hazy dude on it. You can see right there. So that's definitely a cool little addition. Then over here we've got a guns box for you, and yeah, it's a new year, so maybe it's time for another box set. I don't know, do you guys feel like it's too soon? Helk hasn't really given me a set time of like when to try for some again, so hey, maybe it's that chance. I don't know, but one way or another, there we go. Then over here we've got a creative little box that looks exactly like a dumpster. Definitely a fun little design, and yeah, it'd make a good like drop or trash box or scrap box, that or you know, dump box kind of thing. I think quite a bit, you know, dumpster, dump box, hey, it works. Then over here we've got a very lava looking box for you, and this is the Volcano large box, part of the Volcano set by ThatGermanGuy. As you can see, it almost has a face on each one of the sides, which is quite cool, and the top honestly just kind of looks like a bunch of eyes. Next over here we've got some more large boxes for you. This one is more of a kind of rusty thing. This is the Old Chest by Kyber. And it comes in 3 different versions. 2 of them are in the workshop link below if you want to check it out there. Then we've got what could be a continuation, or the start to a set, I should say. We have the small Blue Lotus box, and now we have the large Blue Lotus box. Then over here we've got a rug for you, and the whole thing is meant to look like a corkboard up on the wall. And I think that's a really fun thing, and definitely something I can see a lot of people wanting to use just as a decoration in their base. Rugs are always fun for that. Then over here we've got a very fun looking refrigerator for you. This is the Vintage TV fridge by Cubis. And yeah, this thing is just this rusty old fridge, and then the top of it, instead of having a freezer, it is a actual television. Definitely like that right there. But I'm trying to figure out what this says. Does it say frost? Like frost, like frosty, I guess, maybe like frost cold. I don't know. Definitely interesting for sure. Then we've got a vending machine. It always is a exciting thing to see some vending machines. This is the Black Market vending machine, and as you can see, it sells all sorts of interesting stuff like key cards, Pookie Bears, human flesh, and cooked human flesh, and sulfur. So definitely a fun one there. And of course, everyone likes to see the back of them, and it looks like this one also has some glow as well, so we'll be able to show you that here shortly. Next, we've got an interesting little door. A lot of people seem to be trying for stuff that kind of blends in, and this is the log wooden door with cutouts. And yeah, as you can see right through a couple of the gaps here. That one's about crouch height. And the only thing that seems a bit strange here is the color is completely off. So I don't know if that was done on purpose because, you know, you can't really make completely hidden doors. Or if that was just a goof. I'm not sure, but one way or another, I think if it matched a little bit more, it would definitely be more like this kind of thing right here. Which brings us to the next thing, which is the double twig wooden door. So far we have the single door in a box, so this would make the third piece in, well, technically a set. So we'll have to see if this one pops into the shop, but I'd say it's pretty likely. Next, we've got some sheet metal doors. The first one is part of another popular set, the Constellation set by Kemsey. So there we go. It's been a good seller in the shop with the previous pieces, so I could see this one also popping in this week. Next, we've got a version 2 of the Clan Door by Mishka. And this one's pretty cool. It also has an alternate version called the Solo, which has a road sign guy on it instead of high qual. Basically this dude right there in the center instead of this one. Definitely a very cool looking door. Next, we've got something on the trippier side for you, and this is the optical art sheet metal door. So there you go. There's optical art. It definitely is one of those things at first kind of like, oh, it's just a blob. But then as you start to stare at it, you can see like the different layers to it and everything. And that's actually a pretty cool door. Then we've got some more awesome art for you over here with the Skyline door by Anathan. And yeah, you know, it makes me wish we had some huge cities in Rust to explore. Then we've got something a little more on the primitive side. This is the rock painting sheet metal door. And the whole thing kind of looks like a cave painting with moss growing all over it. Definitely a neat little creative idea. Then over here we've got the zebra metal door. We saw the double door, so now we've got the single door. Moving on, we've got some garage doors. First one is the Raider Challenge door. Then we've got a crazy looking art piece here with the Lizard Art Garage door. Definitely very cool. And then we've got a continuation with the dungeon set. We've got the armor door. So hey, now we've got a actual garage door. And this one does have a cool little thing. If you actually look at the bottom, the spikes are cut out. So it actually looks like the spikes are going down into the ground themselves, which I think is a really cool little effect as well. Then we've got some garage doors. Now that we're finished with the garage doors, we've got some armored doors for you. And this one is the Ice Armored Door by Red Rex, continuing in his ice set. Then over here we've got something, and I'm not sure how well this one would work. It is the sheet metal armor door, and one of the rules is, you know, don't make things look like other tiers. So just because we have the twig thing going on, maybe this has a chance. I don't know, so I still want to show it. But yeah, probably not one that would make it, but it is a very cool design. So let's go ahead and kill our lights and take a look at our glow here. The first thing up is going to be our garage doors. Definitely very nice. Then we can cruise on down to our skyline door. Then we've got the constellations. And we've got our vending machine. There we go. Pop right through the back there. Then the TV. It has that nice kind of glow, like the way a TV would light up a room. Definitely love that. Then we've got our Lotus box. Our volcano box. The guns box. And the money box. And next we've got our furnaces. As you can see, this one just lights straight up into an inferno with all those twisted bones. Then over here we've got pretty much just a basic little kind of glow on that one. When we come to the ice furnace, this thing actually lights up into a green, almost like Aurora Borealis kind of color, which is cool. And then the dumpling itself just straight up heats all the way up like red hot. Next we've got our tools and weapons, and first thing up we've got this little concrete hammer for you, and yeah, it's pretty much just a piece of rebar with a big old chunk of concrete. Pretty straightforward. Next we've got a little cobalt bopper for you, and this is the squeaky hammer, and yeah, I mean it's exactly what you'd think. Little toy squeaky hammer. Next we've got some spaghetti for you, and you can beat someone to death with it because hey, it is a rock skin. Then we've got a blobfish. If you haven't seen the memes of this thing around, well, there you go. And this fish actually looks a lot better when it's actually underwater. It lives deep, 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 deep down, and I guess when you bring it up out of the pressure, it kind of blows up like this, and it became famous thus far, and named the blobfish. And, well, now it's a rock. Then over here we've got some stone tools for you with a nice icy hot kind of look to them. This is the Fire and Ice Stone Tools set. Then we've got the matching pickaxe for you. Blobfish decided to make another appearance there. And these are actually glow. So there is the glow there. And the glow there. Alright, next up we've got some hatchets for you, and this one is mean looking and all cut out. And yeah, there's a really mean teeth. It's the Old Hunter set by Shedmon. And of course you gotta have a matching pickaxe. Now this is the cutout version, there's also one that isn't, just in case this one's a little too cut out. Then we've got a kind of icier tool set for you with the Icy Tools by Robstar. And there's that matching pick. Next, we've got a couple little knives for you. This one's got kind of a simple design. It is the Flame Combat Knife, and there you go. It just kind of has a little hot rod flame on it, and that's about it. Next, we've got something a little more on the sharp side with some cobalt razor blades, and looks like some electricity even. This is the Combat Razor Blade Knife, and man, that really makes me wish we could mod up melee weapons with like electricity and fire. That would be really cool. Next, we've got some bows for you, and the first one here is a continuation in the Banger set. So there we go. We can go. It has drawback there. You can see it actually has some arrows drawn on the top. Then we've got another one for you, and this one is the Designer Hunting Bow. As you can see, it's very cut out, and it kind of looks like it's made out of like what were those things called, connects or something like that? I forgot what they were, but it was like constructor kit kind of thing. There you go. Then we've got a reptile-y looking bow for you. This is the Snake Tamer Hunting Bow. You can actually see the snake right there. Then we've got a crossy for you, which is obviously the JPEG crossbow. Always a very popular set. Go ahead and aim down the sights there and pop a reload for you. There it is. Then we've got a DB, and it is part of another popular set, the No Mercy set. So boom, there we go. The No Mercy boom tube. Let's go ahead and pop a reload for you there. And then next, we've got a pumpy for you, and this one's a quite fancy looking one. This is the Crown Guardian pump shotgun. Definitely has a nice regal look to it. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a gold tip. And let's go ahead and do that reload. Next, we got one more pumpy for you, and this one's got more of an artsy cartoon kind of look to it. It's the Panda and Dragon. So there you go. The whole front of it kind of looks like a dragon, and then you've got the panda there, who looks quite angry, I would say. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a coin and a black tip to the sight. Next, we've got a Revy for you, and this one is all painted up with some crazy eyes. It's the Wonderland Revolver by Keck, and yeah, definitely a very cool look. Aiming down the sights here, you got one eye judging you, and some very multicolored sights to match the very brightness of this gun. Next, we've got a sap for you, and this one is the Aberrated Sap. So of course, you know, as you kind of like move it around, it kind of has like a little bit of effect there. Aiming down the sights here, you got purple sights, and there's that reload. Next, we've got another sap for you, and it has more of a military look. It is the Custom Sap. So there you go. It looks like it's kind of made out of maybe like a polymer or something. I don't know. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a kind of black shiny tip versus the tan of the gun. Next, we've got a Thompson for you, and this one's bright and shiny. It's the Redemption Thompson, and man, the LR sold pretty well, so I could see this one potentially popping in the store this week because it is a very, very bright color. Aiming down the sights here, we've got a red tip to it. Definitely a very nice shiny gun. Then we've got a custom for you, a little bit more on the opposite side, more rusty and dirty. This is the Exploder SMG by Glider. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a little explosion, and we can pop off a few rounds and do that reload there. Next, we've got some MP5, starting out with a crazy art one here. This is the Fluffy MP5. I don't know exactly why it's called Fluffy. I guess all these things, they more look like goop creatures to me than fluffy things, but hey, one way or another, it's the artist's interpretation. Aiming down the sights here, you've got pretty much just kind of orange going on. And there you go. It's kind of a more brownish orange too. Then we've got another very rusty looking MP5 for you. This is the Workhart MP5. It comes in a rusted version, which you're seeing here, and a less rusty version, which you can see down in the workshop link down in the description. And on the sides here, you've got a red and white alternating tip to match that kind of like construction warning label. Next, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one's a little more on the elegant side. It's the Golden Marble MP5 by Uproar. And there you go, it's got kind of like a green marble and a nice gold trim going on with it there. Next, we've got another MP5, and this one is part of the Dead Souls set, so it should be pretty familiar to you. And definitely a nice addition, and of course, like the rest of the set, it does have a bright green, but not glowing, sight there. Next, we've got a SAR for you, and this one looks all sorts of wet. This is the water SAR, and the whole thing is just this shiny metallic blue with all sorts of water droplets all over it. Definitely a very neat looking effect, for sure, especially when aiming down the sights. Then we've got another SAR for you, and this one's a little more on the kind of scrappy side. It's the Wasteland SAR by Andre. You can see there's wires sticking out, and the whole thing looks a little more cobbled together. You got some teeth hanging down there, and when you aim down the sights, not too much going on. Kind of wish maybe the flames were colored in a little bit, or we had a bit of a color to the tip, but there we go. Next, we've got a couple more SARs for you, and this one here is part of the Calm Time set by Frog. And yeah, it just kind of has that kind of calm, chill vibe going on. It tells you to reload in case you forget, so there you go. And then you've got some purple on purple for the tip of the sights there. Then we've got a luxury looking SAR for you. This one is the Royal SAR, and yeah, the whole thing kind of has a Louis Vuitton kind of thing going on, which is definitely cool. Aiming down the sights here, you've just got some brown leather. Next, we've got another SAR, and this one's got this kind of angry zombie on the side. This is the Zombie Land SAR, and aiming down the sights here, you've got a kind of magenta tip to the black and green sights, and then these teeth staring back at you, and then it kind of has like a little grill where the stock would be, since it's a stockless gun. So there we go. Next, we've got some AKs, and the first one up here is the Royal Kit AK. So there you go. Aiming down the sights here, it's got kind of a slight difference to the black and the silver kind of, but it's not too noticeable. And there we go with the reload. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is the Bone Breaker. As you can see on the side there, there's even little broken bones symbol there at the front. Aiming down the sights, same kind of thing, just kind of crusty black and silver sights. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is the AS AK. So there you go. AS, I'm not really sure what that stands for, but it just says AS. So there you have it. Next, we've got some more ARs, starting out with this one. It is the Racer AK-47, and yeah, it has all kind of, you know, race stripes and the race flag, and it's even got a number 47 on it there, and definitely some cool kind of sculpting with the, you know, the little breathing holes and everything there, vents, so to say. Aiming down the sides, it's got a red tip and a speedometer for you. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one is the Black Fire AR. Kind of has a simple little design to it, kind of like a matted black with a gloss to it. There you go. Aiming down the sights, it has a little red tip, and it tells you to kill, just in case you forgot what to do with it. Then we've got a very shiny looking AK for you. This is the Luminous AR. It comes in two different versions. You can check out the alternate one down below, but definitely a very cool kind of modern design. Aim down the sights here, you've got some red dots and a red sight. And there's that reload. Next, we've got an M39. We don't see skins for these too often, and this is the recycler one. So we have seen a couple pieces in the recycler set, and man, this thing is just crusty and fits right into rust so well. And aiming down the sides here, there you go. Let's go ahead and reload that as well. Then we've got a couple of LRs. This first one is a mean-looking art job. It is the Carnivore Hunter. It also comes in an alternate green version as well, which you can check out down in the description below. Aiming down the sights, not too much going on, but you do have a bright kind of like aqua to match the eyes there for the sight. Next, we've got a very different LR. This whole thing kind of looks like it's made out of wood. This is the King of the Street LR. And yeah, it's got this little octopus on there, and it's just a wooden kind of, you know, fiber board kind of particle board. Maybe it's cardboard. Actually, yeah, no, you know what? I think it's not wood. It's meant to look like cardboard. So there you go. It's a corrugated cardboard LR. And then lastly, we'll just pull down this last one here. We do have an L9D6 for you if it ever loads. Come on, there it goes. Boom! It is the tribalized radium L96. So there you go. Definitely a very cool looking design. But that's it, guys. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping for the most and why. Leave any kind of feedback you have. I'll try to get to the right people if it isn't for me. And as always, thanks for watching and stay rusty. We'll see you on Thursday when the skins make it in.